Absolutely. Now, Sampson, I want to thank you again for joining us. It is such a pleasure to have you. I love you, love being able to hear your perspective on things. So I love to get your thoughts on this. What's your perspective from all this outrage and just the reactions that we're getting from, as Capone mentioned, a photo, a snapshot that was released on Ebony magazine?
Oh, it's so layered, but I have to agree with what Pierre said, and it's great to hear heterosexual Black men say that, the gay community isn't going anywhere. I've been gay all my life. I enjoy being gay, even though you got to whoop some ass sometimes. And, there are a lot of conversations that we have to have around sexuality. But this situation, I don't even think is that serious. I think it's just outrage. I don't even think people are outraged for real. I think a lot of people are outraged because everybody else is outraged. People are followers.
Absolutely. Now, I want to ask you something because a lot of people are throwing this black masculinity, and based on we've seen multiple people. This isn't the first time we've seen someone dressed like this, and there's been this big outrage, right? So I'm interested to know: do you think black masculinity is based on the appearance of clothes or what you're wearing? Do you think that that's what it's based on?
In our community, I think that because we have faced a lot of oppression as Black people, I think the standard for how our men has to show up is a whole lot higher, is what I think that it is. I think our men face so many different challenges around providing for themselves, providing for their families, the challenges that they have to face in society, that we don't get a pass anywhere else. So whereas, for instance, we hear a lot of white women talk about how easy it is for them to allow their men to explore even their sexuality. Oh, my husband lets me, graze his nipples with sweet potatoes or something like that. you know, Black men, we don't get a pass. You got to be a man. You can't show no emotions. You got to dominate in the bedroom. You can't wear bright colors. And so that creates a lot of friction when it comes to how our men express ourselves. And that even is with gay men. Even as gay men, we judge ourselves harshly on how we present our masculinity. So I think it's a very, very layered conversation, especially in the Black community.
Absolutely. Now I want to ask you this, Samson, as a black gay man in this time, do you feel the pressure to dress a certain way because of your sexuality, because of the things that that you mentioned that our community faces and that we constantly go through, especially you as a black man?
I think if I cared what people think, I would care about,
Okay.
what I wear.
Mhm.
Now I've never been one to go down the street with booty shorts on. I think that's just inappropriate. But I really don't care how people think about how it is that I express myself. At the end of the day, I think if you are truly comfortable and you respect yourself, and you respect other people, I think they will respect you. And so I've never had an issue as an adult being a gay person because, I respect other men. I respect women. I care about how I present myself in society, but I'm still authentically myself. But I think it's a fine line. But if I want to wear a pink shirt, I'm gonna wear a pink shirt. And anybody who's hypercritical of anybody else, it says more about them than it does about me. Because if you are a straight man, why are you paying so much attention to me? I would get all the ladies if I was straight. I done freed up the game for you. Leave me alone. Focus on what matters to you.
That needs to be on the shirt. I done freed up the game for you. Leave me alone.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead, Capone.
All right. I just want to ask this. So, is there like, I understand there's different genders of lesbian, gays, but what I want to know is, just because you sleep with a man or your sexual preference, what is the thing with some gay people that feel like the feminine has to be overboard, like the extra hello, excuse me, and all of that? Why does that come with the expression of just because you gay? What is that about? Can you answer that? Because there are guys who are gay that just straight men, and they act like men, and there's no women or tendencies in there. Is there a difference in that situation, if I might ask?
I'll let him answer, but I'm gonna answer it for you too, Capone. But go ahead,
Okay.
Sampson.
Okay, so with that, I think many people can be extra. I think there are things that straight men do that are extra, but they don't get judged for it because they're straight. So as a gay man, I can say, yes, there are some gay people who do too much. Even for us gay people, we'd be like, you're doing too much, but I do think that our men get judged a lot more harshly for it because they are gay, and men are even uncomfortable with femininity. And that doesn't matter where it's coming from. That doesn't matter whether it's coming from a woman or a man, but this is escalated because it's coming from a man. And I think that some of the behavior, I will say this because I look at it from both sides.
Right.
I will say that some of the behavior is overboard, and I think that's rooted more in an insecurity than anything else. Because a lot of Black gay folks, we don't get the I'm going to think of the right word. We don't get the luxury of coming from homes many times that affirms who we are. We don't get the luxury of coming from a community that affirms who we are. And so being Black, which is its own battle, and also being gay, you try to overcompensate. Oh, I'm a bad bitch, I'm a this, some of that, and it doesn't always look good. But I think if we developed a certain type of compassion to understand where that comes from, we would understand it a little bit better.
So real quick, before you say something, Pierre, all right, you said something that was very profound. Is it because there's like two different worlds, being a Black man with the struggles and then being a gay with the struggles. So what is more, because I see, from what I see, gay Black men seem to get their strength more from the gay community than the Black community. Is that like a rejection from the Black community? That because we go through the same struggles as Black people, but I see that coming together with the gay community is more stronger than Blacks come to the Black community, if you understand what I'm saying.
I think I understand what you're saying. With that, I want to say this explicitly, because I'm from DC. I grew up in the Black church, and so where I come from, you had to know how to fight growing up, and so a part of that battle is us needing the Black community to understand, yes, we are Black gay people, but we're always going to be Black first. I'm Black first. When I walk out of this house, people see a Black man. And so if you and I are sitting in the car together and the cops pull us over, we know what danger we both face. And that's before either one of us open our mouths about who we sleep with when we get back to the house. And so I think that because there isn't a deep understanding around sexuality in the Black community, and we see the gay community get so many rights, I want people to understand those are rights usually that Black gay people don't benefit from. Because again, we're Black first, and there is racism in the gay community. I have gone to gay clubs in the Castro and here in Los Angeles. And, you walk in, you can't even get served a drink, or you will hear white gay men use slurs or identify you only by what they think your private parts look like, or, people put glass in your drinks and stuff like that. So we deal with racism first, but we are Black first. Okay. All day. I will identify, yes, I am a gay person, but I identify as Black first all day.
Pierre, let me come to you. I know you wanted to add in on that.
Oh yeah. When Capone said, they why, like when some of them overdo it. I know straight men, like he was saying, that overdo being tough. I don't eat no hot dogs, man. I don't drink no damn straw, nigga. I ain't gonna do no straw. Like, dude, how rough you gotta be? How tough you trying to be? You're overcompensating for being hardcore and I'm a real man's man. So some of them do it overboard too, straight men. You know what I'm saying? So but he kind of talked about that. So, in all communities, people overdo it. Women sometimes on Instagram, they overdoing it, showing their asshole down there, put the vagina lip popping, overdoing it. That's sexuality. Like, calm down. So we all do it. Don't just put it on the gay community, overdoes stuff sometimes. Everybody overdoes their community, to me.
And I'll go even further to piggyback off no homo of what Pierre is saying. So I would even say that if you find a man who is overcompensating too much, a straight man, say, "Oh, I don't do that gay stuff, this and that," he's probably struggling with his own sexuality.
Oh, well, I eat hot dogs and I use straws, so I'm cool.
Yeah, see, he don't gotta
problem with straws.
overcompensate because he knows who he is.
Okay. Put it in the comments for real.
One more question for you, Sampson. And again, I think it's so beneficial for you being here and really being able to open up, because so many times in our community, we see these conversations happen separately. So to see you all on this panel having this discussion is truly beautiful to me. So thank you so much for being here. I just want to ask one more question for you, and then I'm going to take this around the room. I feel like there's been a shift, and this is just from my own perspective of even, we always talk about, or it's always being talked about Black men, Black gay men and their femininity. But on the other end of that, I feel like I've seen more Black gay men, or just gay men in general, kind of embrace that masculinity. You see them working out, you see them, whatever that may look like for them. I want to ask you, from your perspective, are you noticing more Black gay men embracing that, embracing their masculinity, where they don't necessarily feel like, oh, okay, because I'm gay, I have to act like this now? They're just, kind of embracing who they are in their masculinity. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we've always embraced our masculinity. I think, you can go to any high school and look at some of the star players on the basketball team. They're probably sleeping with one of the gay boys in the school on the football team. We're in the NBA, we're in the NFL, we're in the barbershop, we're everywhere else that our men are, but they may not talk about it. Like me, unless people are coming to see me on stage or me personally, I don't talk about my sexuality because it's not people's business, and so I think people hyper focus on the feminine gay men though, because they're uncomfortable seeing feminine gay men, and so that's based on perception and stereotype and stigma.